U Sports on CBC, presented by l'U Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox Sporty, Veriburn Medical Supply, Les Bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Booster Juice.
Good evening and welcome to the Langley Event Center for semifinal Saturday. Welcome to the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice on CBC. My name is Tim James alongside Ryan Adams from Volleyball BC and Trinity Selecki, former UBC Thunderbird. We are the broadcast team bringing you this U Sports semifinal matchup between the Alberta Pandas and the Trinity Western Spartans. This is following yesterday's quarterfinals, of course, and we will take a look at the bracket and start off with what happened for the Alberta Pandas. They were playing the late one last night, taking on the Montreal Carabins. And Ryan, it went 4 sets, and really the Pandas, you could see the firepower. You could see Abby Guzin, why she is the U Sports Player of the Year.
Yeah, it was a great display by the Pandas last night. A little bit shaky to start. I thought Montreal did a good job controlling Guzin at the beginning, but she found her way in the end. You could just see the resilience and the determination and the focus. This is Alberta's year, or they want it to be their year. They've fallen short a few times the last few years, been probably the top team in the country the last 2 or 3 years, and they're on a mission tonight, guys.
And I think you nailed it, Ryan. That wasn't even her best performance, but Abby still noticeable, especially for me. I thought she did great defensively. And Trinity, I wanted to talk about, of course, your former Thunderbird. And last night we had that Thunderbirds versus Spartans matchup. What was your big takeaway from that one with the big battle between Maren Bolden and Lucy Borowski?
I mean, it's definitely always fun to have those two going against each other, and especially in a national quarterfinal. I will say I think the beginning of the match still was quite shaky as well, with some nerves, but even seeing that tonight, I don't see any of that on the Trinity side right now during their warm-up. You know, they've had that first game. Maren Bolden maybe didn't have her best offensive game yet of this tournament, but I can expect her to bounce back strong tonight.
And Maren Bolden, one of the players to watch out for, of course, for the Trinity Western Spartans, as she's in her 4th season. And Ryan, what can you say about the firepower for Bolden? She hasn't had the best playoffs. Let's not take that away, or let's put that in perspective, let's say, but she is one of the strongest hitters in the country.
Yeah, like Trinity said, yet she hasn't had her best game yet, and so that's the great thing about this. She gets another crack at it tonight here on her home court in front of her home fans, so I expect we'll see a better performance tonight from Bolden, and to be honest, Tim, they're going to need her to have a good performance tonight if they're going to beat this powerful Panda team.
Well, Abby Guzin, she's one to watch out for, because keep in mind, this is a rematch from last weekend. Both these teams just met in the Canada West final. It was the Pandas who took that one, and Abby Guzin, she played impressive with 24 kills through the 4 sets. We'll have much more to tee up this matchup between the Trinity Western Spartans and the Alberta Pandas. Stay with us as you are watching the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice live on CBC.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Welcome back to Langley in the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship. It is day number 2. It is semifinal Saturday. We are fired up. All of this is presented by Booster Juice, and we are live on CBC. We are getting excited for this one. My name is Tim James, alongside Ryan Adams from Volleyball BC and former U Sports player Trinity Selecki will be the trifecta broadcasting this matchup, the first of 2, of course, semifinals on this Saturday. Looking at these two teams, 2 Canada West teams meeting in the semifinal. And Ryan, when you look at these 2 teams, they've got a lot of history. They just played in the Canada West final, but this even goes back a few years too.
Yeah, it goes back a few years. This year, Tim, Alberta has the upper edge, 3-1, going back as recently as the Canada West playoffs. But historically, at the national championship, guys, this surprised me a little bit. Trinity actually holds the edge 5-3, including a win and the gold medal matches 3-1, 3-2, and 3-1. So 3 times through the gold medal. Obviously, this is the semis, but right now, Trinity definitely has the edge.
And hey, it's now time to meet the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. So let's go to the stadium public address announcer, Kyle Balzer.
First referee,
Premier arbitre,
Andrew Raw. Second referee,
deuxième arbitre,
Ryan Bunyan. The line judges are
les juges de ligne sont
Angela Yi, Jeffrey Chang, Josh Matsui, and Leanne Wong. And now it's time to meet the starting lineups, beginning with the University of Alberta Pandas.
Et maintenant, il est temps de présenter les joueuses titulaires. Les 6 départs pour
A third-year libero, number 5.
le numéro partant, numéro 5.
Misha Hamid. A fourth-year middle, number 6.
La 4e année, numéro 6.
Ali Moore. A fifth-year setter, number 9.
La 5e année,
Justine Collodi. A fourth-year outside hitter, number 14.
la 4e année, outside, 14.
Lila Johnston. A fifth-year outside hitter, number 17.
Numéro 17, 5e année.
Peyton Henderson. A third-year middle, number 19.
3e année, numéro 19, central.
Ronnie Dixon. And a third-year outside hitter,
3e année, numéro 21.
Abby Guzin. The Pandas are coached by Carolyn O'Dwyer. And now, Spartan faithful, make some noise for your Trinity Western Spartans. A second-year outside hitter, number 2.
Deuxième année en psychologie.
Sienna Drieder. A fourth-year outside hitter, number 3.
Quatrième année.
Marin Bolden. A fifth-year middle, number 6.
Une cinquième année, numéro 6.
Kaylee Plouffe. A third-year libero, number 8.
Étudiante en business, numéro 8.
Sophia Rader. A third-year middle, number 9.
Étudiante en psychologie, numéro 9.
Isabella Stothert. A second-year center, number 10.
Étudiante en éducation, numéro 10.
Tiana Dimitruk. A first-year middle, number 11.
Première année, étudiante en business, numéro 11.
London Cron. And a fifth-year libero, number 18.
Étudiante en éducation, numéro 18.
Michaela McBain. The Spartans are coached by Ryan Hofer.
Good evening and welcome back to the broadcast. Presented by Booster Juice, we are live on CBC. It is the Trinity Western Spartans and the Alberta Pandas. The winner will move on to the final tomorrow, Championship Sunday, for the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship. The loser will still be playing tomorrow, but in the bronze. This is the first of 2 semifinal matchups here at the LEC on this Saturday. Both these teams with lots of history just met at the Canada West Final. Carolyn O'Dwyer, relatively new when it comes to coaching this team in her 3rd season, taking over for Lori Eisler, a very experienced coach. On the other side, you have Ryan Hofer. He's been around since 2006. And Ryan, you had a chance to actually coach with Ryan.
Yeah, I was there at the very beginning, Tim. His first 3 seasons as a head coach, taking over from his wife, Carol Hofer. Kind of a cool legacy there. And, you know, he's changed a lot since those very first days. And, of course, this program has grown and developed a lot since those very first days. Now a national contender every year. And here we go, guys.
The Alberta Pandas will be on the right side of your screen in the white jerseys at 6:12 Pacific, 7:12 if you're watching in Edmonton. We are officially underway for semifinal number 1. Dig by McBain. Now Dimitruk. Big push over to Marin Bolden, going to work position 6 and picks up the first kill for the Spartans.
Oh, that's big for the Spartan. Bolden, if you heard in the introduction, not her best night last night, Tim. She hit 0, had a ton of attempts, 42 attempts, I believe, hitting 0. She's going to have to play better tonight. Great start for Bolden.
London Cron will be serving for Trinity Western. Getting this start, she has competed against Emma Gracka for that middle position. The other middle being Bella Stothert. This is able to go through the middle meantime as Stothert was going up, couldn't get in the way of that, so the first kill for Alberta has this one tied 1-1 in the opening set.
Yeah, good energy in the building and good energy from both sides so far, guys.
Noise picking up once again here at the LEC, not necessarily in that section where the serve was coming from. Here's Bolden going to work, sharp angle and scores. Wow. Brilliance from Bolden.
And that's the Bolden we're used to seeing, a little bit more just that high, sharp cross, high line seam, variety, power, speed. And again, you know, if you're Pandas, you're obviously hoping for she had a night like last night. So far, not the case.
Setter to the back row for Trinity Western. 3 attackers at the net. This is Tiana Dimitruk, a second-year setter up against Justine Collodi, who is in her 5th season with the Pandas as this ball sails out. And this will be a service error that puts us at 2 apiece.
Yeah, if that's something we're looking at comparing these two teams, definitely the experience between these 2 quarterbacks of the offense, huge difference. 2nd year versus 5th year. You learn so much through those 5 years of playing.
Ronnie Dixon, talented server, sends this across, picked up by McBain, the libero for Trinity Western on this rally as the Spartans go with the 2 libero system. Over to Kaylee Plouffe, hitting out of the left side to position 6, but that was dug up. 3 contacts sent over by Dixon. No libero out there right now for the Pandas. Plouffe going to work once again from the left side, and the second time is a charm, going down the line to score.
Well, and that's kind of the key to me for the Spartans. Plouffe and Bolden both going. I mean, that's really, they have 2 very, very good players on the wing. Plouffe just sitting out of the top 5 kills per set at number 7. into Canada West this year.
Here's one of the stars for this Spartans, Maren Bolden, serving this ball across, and watch out for her coming out of the pipe. This ball's going to be sent out. And no, last touch will be off at Trinity Western. Ryan, you say good call, and there we go. Point for Alberta.
Yeah, good call. A little bit of weird play, a little bit of off speed falling backwards and not hit as hard as normally we see those balls, but great call by the head official.
Well, the teams are exchanging points as here we are at 3 apiece. Fans continuing to trickle into the LEC. Noise picking up once again. Bolden, Dimitric, Stother. The timing wasn't there, but Drieger doing a nice job taking that from the left side. There's the dump. Perfect position by Bolden. Dimitric, middle run by Stothard. Bolden, once again, in a great position. And there's Drieger going to work, sharp angle to score. And I know her grandpa is in-house. He mentioned he was excited about last night. She had a great matchup, and here she has the crowd roaring once again.
Well, she had a fantastic night last night, guys. She hit .609 as a second-year outside. Are you kidding me? 15.5 points. 15 kills in the national quarterfinal against UBC. Sorry, Trinity, against UBC.
No, she definitely picked up some slack on the outside front of things, attacking front, and she was super efficient, bringing so many different offensive speeds and shots.
And finally, a team scores back-to-back points. It will be Trinity Western as Abby Guzin, you don't see this too often, with an attack error, and that puts Trinity Western up by 2 points. And you can see some of the fans at the bottom left of your screen gathered around. That is the 300 section. Looking down at them, they make a lot of noise, and Alberta will be serving on that side in the second set. Bella Stothard is going to go out the back for the second service error for Trinity Western early in this first set.
Yeah, a little bit of too much there, but I feel like the team is a bit more settled than last night. Obviously, a lot of energy, a lot of nerves between that UBC crosstown rival in that quarterfinal. And they feel, to me, a little bit more settled tonight at the start of this match.
And Abby Guzin, the tallest player on the Alberta Pandas, makes a mistake. You can see Ryan Hofer looking on. Again, he's been with his team since 2006, and he's won a couple of national championships. Most recently, 2022. That one was held at Mount Royal in Calgary. And it's an ace for Kaylee Plouffe. And Ryan, she is one of those players, when she is on the money from behind the service line, you're in trouble.
Oh, you're in trouble. And you'll notice both Plouffe and Guzin will have the same type of serve. Here we see on the replay this two-handed toss into sort of a hybrid spin. That comes from our women's national team from the summertime.
Another tough serve by Plouffe, but look at this, 3 contacts as Hamid sends this over. Backpedaling was Cron. Is she going to go over? No, it's going to be Dimitric on second ball. Now Cron going up, trying to block that one. Not going to get in the way. It's Henderson getting a pat on the back with a big point for the Pandas.
Henderson didn't have the best night either offensively. We saw her get subbed out for Mackenzie Poole. 2 BC kids going at it, battling obviously for Alberta here tonight, but great to see BC athletes across this great country playing some amazing programs.
Middle's going front to back for the Pandas, and it's another mistake from behind the service line as Abby Guzin just moments ago was off the mark, and this time it is Allie Moore. She will check off, and Hamid will come back in as the libero and set up in his serve receive as Sienna Drieger looks to round out the lineup. Last person on the Spartans roster starting lineup to serve, and she's going to go into the net. Back-to-back errors from these players. Yeah,
unfortunately, I do feel like the Pandas are a little bit on their heels still, maybe not fully settled into this match. Lots of fans obviously in the stands, not as much as last night, but I think Trinity has to take advantage of that, and if they don't let Alberta settle into this game too much.
That is a great point as this serve is off. That Ryan, this crowd is not as big as last night still. When the Pandas are serving near that 300 section, someone's dressed up as a chicken, other people are wearing jerseys. It is going to be a festive time for the Pandas. Meantime, Claire Pakaluk, as you can see, subbing in for Trinity Western, and she is a usual substitution for the Spartans. Service substitution.
Usually, yeah, but she's a little bit earlier than we normally see, Tim.
Pakaluk coming in. Pandas able to make a good attack, and that will be it for Pakaluk as Henderson once again picking up another kill from the left side.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few missed dicks, Trinity. What are you seeing so far? I mean, offensively wise, the teams are clicking, but defensively wise, still a little bit slow like we saw against the UBC team last night.
I mean, against a team with amazing hitters all around, the service pressure is so important. Getting them out of system as much as you can. And right now, both teams are kind of letting each other off the hook with some missed serves. But then at the same time, they're not putting those serves into seams, causing some confusion. So their blockers are left almost one-on-one against hitters right now.
Dimitric going over to Bolden. Hamid, a nice job with the dig. Now right side approach taken by Stothard, and Dimitric had Stothard in the way. She was trying to backpedal. The players bump into each other, and it's a point for the Pandas.
Yeah, and those are one of those situations where you just got to shove that player out of the way if you're a setter. I know the Stothard's pretty big here. We'll see in the replay, but you got to push her. You can't let that ball fall. No hurt feelings in this situation.
Well, Stothard not easy to push over at 6'3" compared to Tiana Dimitric at 5'9". Dimitric going to Stothard. Looks like they've made up, but couldn't score the point. Now Dixon with an excellent swing out of the middle. Dimitric pushing it deep. Hamid, great back pedal to get there in time. Now the Pandas will need to reset. Kolodi falling back, going over to Guzin, and why not? That is your best player, and she picks up the point.
Yeah, great rally there from both sides. Spartans trying to find their middle, and I think to me, looking at these two teams, the middles from Alberta are going to probably have the advantage, and I get why your Trinity kind of have to establish a little bit of middle, but you got to find some success here early to kind of free up some of their outsides.
Pandas on a 3-point run, and that is it. Just jinxed them as Henderson will go out the back. And now the Spartans liberos will switch up as McBain plays the serve receive, and playing serve, in comes Sophia Rader.
And we have 7 missed serves, guys, here. Already only 19 points into this game, 7 of them from missed serves from both of these teams.
Tiana Dimitric back for her second serve. The previous one went out. Let's see if she can get this in. Meantime, just looking at a discussion between Kaylee Plouffe and first referee Andrew Robb. Not sure what that was about. Dimitric, the setter, with 3 attackers now at the net, delivers this to Hamid. Hamid not perfect on her pass. Right side approach there by Johnston. Now Plouffe. And the Pandas offense going to go, or rather the Pandas defense are going to send that out, and it's a point for Trinity Western.
Yeah, and Alberta might be one of the few teams that are big enough on the outside, like you mentioned, Guzin, the tallest player on the Pandas, as a left side, but still Plouffe managed to get up and off the top of her block. Unbelievable.
See on the replay there, she was there. It was just her hands that were late on the block.
Tiana Dimitric will be charged with the service error, her second service error of this match. A number of service errors early on. Hey, the crowd is fired up, but we are having some, well, we're waiting for that pace to pick up. No timeouts taken, though, so that's not delaying us. Meantime, Dixon going back to serve as the middles go front to back for the Pandas. McBain back toward the pin. Plouffe was shut down with the left side approach. Now Stothard looking to send that deep, and that's going to be a ball handling error called by the first official, Andrew Robb.
Yeah, that's going to get called easily. And in Trinity, those rules have changed, a fair bit from when you were playing in the beginning of your career to now. And what's your thoughts on that ball handling change and those calls, those restrictions?
I mean, it still catches me off guard when I'm uncertain about a second contact that comes out a little uncertain, but I don't mind being able to trust all of your players and not have that call, but still the 1-over where it comes off not clean. I understand that one.
And Guzin with an uncharacteristic play. She was on third ball, ended up sending to her teammate as she was trying to make an attack. So Guzin, she's not having her best match for whatever reason here on this Saturday. She's still on the board, though. It is Trinity Western up by 1 with Maren Bolden back to serve. Her second rotation serving. Delivers this ball to position 6, handled by Henderson. The middle run. Moore is shut down, and Stothard celebrating alongside Kaylee Plouffe. And Plouffe, during the regular season, leading the Spartans in blocks.
Well, yeah, and that's something, having an ex-national team middle on the right side. She can be very good with helping, moving quickly, covering space quickly, and she can help with that 30 a little bit longer than most players.
It's an ace for Maren Bolden. 2-point lead now for the Spartans, as rather 3-point lead as momentum has shifted.
Yeah, I think Trinity has to just serve in right now, guys. I feel like Alberta's still a little bit on their heels, not fully settled in this match yet.
Bolden going with an off-speed, handled by Hamid. Kolodi doing a nice job of staying off the net, but as Drieger goes up, she's the last one to touch it. Point for the Pandas, who will break that momentum for Trinity Western. Again, neither team has taken a timeout at this point.
Yeah, this is great back and forth volleyball early in this quarterfinal. That's what or semifinal, sorry. That's what you want to see if you're a coaching staff. You just kind of let it ride and just hope you catch a couple of service points in a row here.
Pandas trailing by 2. Mid stages of this opening set. Stothard with the delivery out of the middle. Second ball, who was going to take it as Moore was right next to Kolodi. Now the Spartans going to offense. Drieger reaching back a bit, sends that deep on the Pandas side now. The offense running with Guzin. Dimitric on the move, trying to connect with Stothard in motion, and the setter able to get that over to her middle.
Yeah, able to get, again, speed kills, not so much power. Here we see on the replay, but still the Spartans struggling a little bit with that connection. That set not quite far enough out. I like how Dimitriuk is trying to find her, and Stothard's still staying involved, still being on time, but they're still missing that great connection they've had this season.
Bella Stothard with 59 blocks during the regular season, just under the 60 from Kaylee Plouffe. Johnson going to work, delivers this out the back, no touch. So Stothard will continue to serve. A couple of serves ago, she did go out the back, but hey, we have our first timeout taken by the Alberta Pandas as they trail by 4.
Yeah, this is what I thought. As long as we put a little bit of service pressure, ball in the court, Trinity, this is kind of what I thought might happen. Here we see now 16-12. What's your thoughts so far?
For sure, I agree with the service pressure. You know, it's not necessarily going for that ace every single time, but keeping the ball in play and making your opponent work with the ball.
CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. The best U Sports men's volleyball teams battle at the 2026 BioSteel Men's Volleyball Championship, March 13th to 15th from the University of Windsor. You can catch the action exclusively on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. Well, the Trinity Western Spartans huddled around, and the noise not really affecting that huddle, because we've seen in some venues, I think back to in Calgary especially, those Dino fans, they can get right on top of those benches and make some noise, but it looks like the way that fans have seated themselves here at the LEC, the Pandas don't need to worry about that, and the Spartans don't need to worry about that. But Ryan, it's still a good vibe here on this Saturday.
Yeah, good vibe. I mean, more fans on our side, the side you don't really see as much on the camera, including that Spartan section. You know, when we were playing here, Tim, in 2011 with the men's team, all of our Spartan fans went on the other side behind the benches, and they had to put ropes and dividers in to stop them getting so close to the players.
There's a step around coming from Moore, and Moore is going to deliver that one out of play. So it's another attack error for the Pandas. And now it's Trinity Western, the silver medalists in the Canada West, leading against the gold medal team.
And like we talked about last night, guys, with Montreal and not having too much pressure, Trinity has a little bit more pressure on them because of the home team. But again, Alberta's been probably the top team the last 3 years, and they just have not done well at this national tournament.
Lodi going over to Guzin. She's able to tag the line. Just drops that in before Stothard. So Stothard will head out, and McBain will come back in for the serve receive. It's another kill for Guzin.
Yeah, sorry, to be clear, when I say haven't done well, they haven't won. So, you know, they've obviously been doing a good job. But obviously, everybody's going in to win, and that's what they want here this weekend.
Guzin's previous serve went out the back. This one is going to drop in, and yeah, it's going to go right back onto the Pandas side and run the offense in system. Here comes Guzin. It's all her on this rally, but the Spartans still keeping it alive. 3 contacts. Strieger sends it off the block to score.
Wow, and that block was, I don't know if you saw that, Trinity, but to me that block was really far off the net, really weird. And again, just shows me that they're not quite dialed in, kind of like we saw with the UBC Trinity game last night, where there's a little bit too overactivated or underactivated.
For sure, and both teams tonight are super strong blocking teams, and we saw big blocks on either side last night as well. And so just getting that body placement and getting set up correctly early enough to get those blocks is what we need to see moving forward.
Plouffe already with an ace, now charged with a service error. While as we have a double sub coming up for Trinity Western before we get to this serve from Allie Moore. It will be Sydney Gill taking over the setting duties for Trinity Western, the usual double sub. So Tiana Dimitriuk is off. Gill out there on the court. Now Gill going over to Dickey, part of that double sub. Couple of blockers there, picked up shallow by Henderson. Running out of the back is Guzin, who tips it into the net. We have seen that a number of times where Guzin is just off the mark, hitting into the net or hitting it on her own side. Something is not clicking with the U Sports Player of the Year.
Well, of course, and if your team feels pressure to perform, obviously if you're the go-to player, the one leading the ship, you feel even more pressure on your shoulders. You talked about it last night, and so we're seeing maybe a little bit of that creep into Abby tonight so far.
Drieger's previous serve went into the net. She gets this one across, picked up by Hamid. The Pandas running the offense, trailing by 5. Henderson couldn't finish this one. Gill on the move. Going over to Bolden. Now Henderson with the tip and drops it into the soft spot. Gill was crashing down, but Henderson will pick up another kill, and the Pandas draw within 4.
Yeah, I mean, good tip, but still I thought Trinity sold a little bit, showing a little bit here early. We're not seeing on the replay, but you've got to pick those balls up if you're the Spartans. You got to move your feet to the ball. Stay on your feet as long as you can. Otherwise, you just let Pandas out of that pressure.
Justine Collodi to serve once again during the regular season. 9.97 assists per set. Ahead of Tiana Dimitriuk with 9.21 assists per set. And that's Sydney Gill getting the most recent assist for the Spartans.
Well, guys, I think it's fair to say Bolden playing a little bit better tonight. That's going to be her 3rd kill off 4 attempts. Before that, hitting 667. She's probably hitting over 700 right now here as an outside. Unbelievable.
London Cron, who was subbed out previously on the serve, gets an ace on this one.
Wow, and if we're looking at these two teams, Trinity obviously has some 5th-year players. They have a couple 4th years, but they also have a couple 1st years and 2nd years, where Alberta more 4th year, 5th year heavy, and London Cron being one of those 1st years coming in and getting an ace.
Yeah, it's looking good for Trinity Western. Fans, by the way, U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. You can visit usportsfans.ca when you get a moment to join our fan advisory panel. You can tell us about yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving your feedback. For a chance to win U Sports prizes, join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca. And we should note, if you have any commentary about specifically this broadcast so far tonight, you can send us an email to it's usportschampionship@gmail.com. We usually run a Canada West one, but of course, this is the U Sports Championship. So again, usportschampionship@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us.
And Trinity, what are you feeling so far? If you're a Panda player, what do you feel like you need to talk to each other about? What do you need to focus on here?
I definitely think in the past couple points here, there's been some amazing serves coming from the Spartan side, and just finding your rhythm again on the serve receive side of things, and being able to put your setter but also your hitter in better positions to get those attacks and score those points. Obviously they got let off the hook there, which is lucky for them, but can they take advantage of that now behind the service line?
So London Cron, just moments after getting an ace, will serve the ball into the net. Now on the other side we see Peyton Henderson back for her 3rd rotation serving. Gill tight to the net with one hand, trying to keep this on, going over to Bolden, and Bolden's able to make it work. Everything is going right for Bolden, and Guzin not having the best night.
Well, and that goes to the double sub setter. Look at this replay, guys. What an amazing save by Sydney Gill. Full extension up and in. Not a perfect set, but an unbelievable set in that situation. A good job by Bolden, kind of trusting her setter to stay with it and being there to put it away.
Meantime, a double sub for Trinity Western. So Tayana Dimitric returning to the floor to take over the setting duties. But Dimitric has not served well, with 2 service errors so far in this first set. Dimitric. Number 3, because this can be that challenging rotation. 3 attackers at the net, including a 2nd team all-star for Kaylee Plouffe. But now Plouffe is just going to take a step aside, and the serve receive will set up for Trinity Western. This is Ronnie Dixon. Again, she is a talented server for the Alberta Pandas. During the regular season with 27 aces, but this one is going to be a service error.
Yeah, and obviously Alberta's been struggling a little bit here. If you're the Spartans, though, you cannot let them off the hook. You've got to put the ball in play, put the pressure on them. It's like you shake a Coke can, then you keep pressure, and then you're the one who's opening it for them. Make them have to open it, relieve that pressure on their own.
Especially at this time in the set as well. Opening set of a semifinal. You don't want to be the team to go down 1-0, and the Alberta right now making a few too many errors on the service line.
Kind of a weird one from Marin Bolden. She went on a serving run previously, and this time not going to work that way. So the Pandas still with a fighting chance, trailing by 5. They need to go on a run. They need to do it now. Johnston delivers that to Bolden. Dimitric over to Plouffe, using the block. One of the best players in the Canada West, showing why she's been around for 5 years.
Well, and Plouffe versus Guzman, this is a great matchup. It'd be interesting to know, is that Alberta's hope that they have that matchup? Probably so, in my opinion. But right now, Plouffe is winning that battle. Here we are, set point, guys.
Now Bella Stothard to put this ball in play. She has 1 service error earlier on. She will be playing defense in this rally. No libero, of course. Guzin going to work. Picked up by Bolden. Now Dimitric from behind the 3-meter line, going over to the pin to Drieger, and she scores! Sienna Drieger with the final point, as the Spartans will take the opening set by 7 points against the Canada West champion, Alberta Pandas. And it will be the Trinity Western Spartans serving first in the second set. Stay with us. You're watching the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship, presented by Booster Juice on CBC.
Well, here we're going to see the replay before the commercial. And again, of course, Drieger is the one that ends it. It's picking up where she left off last night, guys. So great.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
We are people first and players second. My identity is more than just athletics. It's how Christ shines through me whether we win or lose. That's what it means to be the light.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Welcome back to the Langley Events Center. CBC Sports is Canada's home for university sport. And by the way, the best university swimmers in Canada are in Markham, Ontario at the 2026 U Sports Swimming Championships, and daily coverage begins at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, with heats followed by medal races at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. The 2026 U Sports Swimming Championships exclusively on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. Ryan Hofer and the Trinity Western Spartans with something to smile about after a 7-point win in the opening set. Tim James alongside Ryan Adams and Trinity Selecki. And Ryan, it wasn't a perfect serving set for either team.
No, not for either team, and that, wasn't necessarily the difference because it was both teams. What was the difference, though, guys, is Alberta only hit 8% in that first set compared to Trinity's 38% efficiency, which is pretty high just in general, but especially when you compare it to only 8%.
Tiana Dimitric to get us back underway. She struggled serving in the opening set, gets this one off. Now Henderson going to work, looking good from the left side, but couldn't finish. Now Dimitric going over to Bolden. She's had a good match. Kolodi from the back court. Why not to Abby Guzin. Nice defensive play by the setter Dimitric. Here's Bolden. It's going to be tight to the net. Tips into the block. Back onto the Spartan side. Backpedaling is Dimitric. It's a back row run by Drieger. Just sends it out.
Yeah, we don't see Drieger get set too much on those back row balls. I guess it's that situation where Dimitric felt she kind of was, but I feel like she had Plouffe there in the front row, so I'm not sure why we made that decision.
Looks too as if Drieger maybe wasn't expecting that set necessarily and just got underneath the ball a little bit too much.
Moore sending the ball across. This Spartans offense going to work. Here's Plouffe from the left side. She's already scored from the left side on the other side of the court in the first set. And Plouffe picking up another kill.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that play from the Spartans to Drieger the whole season, so I'm sure she was a little bit surprised by that set selection. Again, Plouffe just up there so high. She's such a unique outside hitter because, again, mostly spent her time as a middle.
Bolden sending it down the line on the serve, and there's the dump by Kolodi. The Spartans still able to make 3 contacts. Drieger going to work and scores! On a play where Kolodi thought she had the Spartans caught, they fight right back.
Can she get player of the game again, guys? Just doing such a great job. This here, see in the replay, the Spartans play super high on defense, so I know it's the blocker that got that pace, but they pack all 3 players really high, very unique to their system.
Off the Bolden serve, here's Guzin. Now the Spartans going to offense. Plouffe tipping over top of the block, taking out the setter, so it's out of system. Coming from Hamid. Henderson going to work back onto the Pandas side. Nice job by Dixon to track that one and score for the Pandas. We are tied at 2.
Yeah, I was wondering if we we're going to see what happened yesterday. A couple misses on the overpasses, and from we saw that from UBC. We saw that from with the other team that played after UBC. I can't remember who did it, but we saw a couple of those key moments.
And this will be Collodi who goes into the net. The setter in the back row for the Alberta Pandas, though 3 attackers up there for Alberta.
Yeah, and of course, you know, Alberta did not have the best serving set. Neither did Trinity. Trinity was worse, actually, but now Alberta's on that Spartan faithful side. We'll see if that impacts them this second set.
This brings up Isabella Stothard, one of the Albertans on the Trinity Western side. A number of Albertan players. Drieger picking up the first ball. Now Plouffe is going to launch this one out. Point for the Pandas, and they will tie this at 3.
Yeah, and those are the things you're going to see once in a while from Plouffe. Again, pretty new to this right side position, a year and a half in, and it's a lot different, obviously, than hitting middle. And so once in a while, you're going to see that. Coaches have to be okay with it because they obviously made this decision to move her to that right side spot.
Peyton Henderson with 19 aces during the regular season. Dimitri. Over to Plouffe, beautiful, going cross court, and Kaylee Plouffe, the pride of Sherwood Park, picks up the kill.
Well, and that's the reason why they put her there, so she can have those type of plays, guys. And just looking at some numbers right now, again, not on my bingo card, Abby Guzin hitting -9% here, guys.
Plouffe from behind the service line will go into the net. Not her first service error. She does have an ace back in the first set. Middles go front to back on the Pandas side. This will be Dixon. Ronnie Dixon. Her coach, Carolyn O'Dwyer, saying that the Pandas have maybe the 2 best middles in the entire country. Off the Drieger attack. There's Guzin going to work. A left side swing by the Spartans first, and then followed up by Guzin with a finish.
Yeah, and you just got to be okay with Guzin getting hers here. See on the replay, great positive touch from the Pandas, but I would probably like to see that hard inside angle. That's where, as a middle blocker, you don't always have to block to your pin. You got to block where you think where that hitter's attacking. You don't always have to close out, but for sure she got to drop that inside hand.
Dixon with the ball to Bolden. Here comes Drieger looking to go down the line, but too sharp of an angle as cuts that to the left. Another point for the Pandas. That is now 3 straight points.
Yeah, and some of those coming from errors, guys. And again, Spartans can't make these type of errors. Pandas are too good, too deep, but they're also feeling that pressure. They got to keep it on them by making them play the ball.
The Spartans did not use any timeouts in the opening set. Bolden takes this serve from Dixon. Here's Drieger from outside of the court. Couple of blockers up. Collodi over to the right side. Johnston as her attack come right back onto the Panda side after one contact, and this will drop in. It's a middle run by Moore. 4 straight points for Alberta. Everything is going right for the visitors.
Yeah, what do you think the girls are saying right now, Trinity, in that little huddle they're having together?
Probably maybe a little bit more talk about the misread on the blocking front. You know, you have Moore up there in the middle, and she's such a strong attacker. I don't think I want my middle jumping with the setter. I want her blocking the middle.
Obviously a big focus around here for volleyball. Can't get that wrong, but CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada, so you can catch the best U Sports women's hockey teams as they face off at the 2026 Miller Waste Systems U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. That's in Woolwich, Ontario. The action starts Thursday, March 19th on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. So the Trinity Western Spartans find themselves in a bit of trouble here early in the second set. Again, lots of history between these teams. It was just last weekend the Pandas won in 4 sets. The Spartans are pushing in that 4th set, but it was the Pandas winning on home court. And I mean, whether you're a Spartans fan or a Pandas fan, just anytime you could win on home court, just watching the celebration there at the Saville Community Sports Center, that was something special.
Yeah, very special for those athletes and those players. And obviously Trinity hoping to have that own special moment here on home court for Nationals.
Well, the 300 section making some noise as Dixon goes back to serve, but Dixon has not been fazed by the banging of drums not too far from here, or not too far from her. Block going up as London Kwan on this step around is shut down by the Pandas. There we go, 5 straight points. And Trinity Western still with 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup here. We're going to see in the replay that step around. Guzin, 6'5", so even though she's one-on-one here, she's very, very big and very, very talented. So tough matchup for Kron.
It's a 4-player serve receive. Not going to see the ball as Dixon is going to go into the mesh, and Trinity Western will rotate around that front row right now, including the center, Tayana Dimitri. As you can see, some of the fans in the 300 section wearing the yellow jerseys or shirts. Haley Plouffe stepping back, but I believe she just served. Uh-oh. I don't think this is right.
Yeah,
there's miscommunication here, and Plouffe is going to serve. Yeah. There's not much she could do. And the Pandas fans, I love this. They're standing up. They're making some noise. And, yeah, there was miscommunication on the Trinity Western side, but great to see all the supporters in green stand up, and they were very noticeable.
Yeah, we don't see that a lot just, even in the regular season, let alone here in the National Championship. And an unfortunate miscommunication. Those things just cannot happen here.
As that should have been Sienna Drieger, I do believe, to serve that ball. Now Plouffe running out of the back, and she finds some form of redemption running out of the pipe.
Well, and I love that play. We haven't seen that actually a ton from the Spartans, and normally run her on that C ball, but because they have Cron running to that step, that slide behind, here we see on this replay, and she's able just to get up and into it, and actually like to see Dimitri lead her maybe a little bit more.
Now the Spartans seem to be in order. Here is London Cron, who we have seen served out from behind the service line earlier on for Claire Pakalek. This time she does get the ball across. The rally continues with Bolden using the block. Couple of blockers there. Justine Collodi not going to like that one as she goes up with more. Point for Trinity Western.
Yeah, Bolden still having an awesome night here. Not the greatest set there from Collodi. Great transition to kill from the Spartans. Bolden rocking right now, hitting over 600.
That's a second ace for London Cron, the queen of the middle. And Trinity Western drawing within one.
To me, this is a huge moment for the Pandas in this middle section of this match. They cannot let it get away from them.
3 players serve, receive, handled well by Guzin, who's going to work offensively, drops this in. She is that good.
Yeah, she's that good, and she has that many shots, and Guzin now trying to find her way. Here we see on this replay, this high line over, not an easy shot to hit, and she didn't even have to go over. I think she was actually outside the block. She still chose to kind of go line seam over.
Especially against a team like Trinity, where their defenders are so high up in the court. There's the back court so open for Guzin, and if she can find that again and again, she's going to score every time.
Abby Guzin with the ace. The Pandas looking at a 3-point lead in the second set, but trailing 1-9 on semifinal Saturday. The winner plays for gold tomorrow. Marin Bolden, the pride of Okotoks, Alberta, is shut down on that approach. It's going to be a point for the Pandas, who are now up by 4.
Yeah, and that's too bad, because if you're Bolden in those situations, the ball's going to you, you're going to have 4 hands in your face, and you got to just be able to trust your teammates to cover for you. And unfortunately, Spartan's a little bit slow, a little bit hesitant to cover. And then, next time she's up there, she might second guess herself with that shot selection, because last time it didn't work out for her.
Once again, fans, U-Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future U-Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win U-Sports prizes. Join the U-Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca. Well, the vibe has changed in here. The Pandas fans, they're having some fun. And, Ryan, I don't know where you parked here. We've got a Vancouver Giants game, by the way, at the Langley Event Center. What that basically means is it's a busy parking lot. But I was going to say, on my way in here, I noticed that there were a bunch of people wearing green. And I thought, well, maybe because St. Patrick's Day is coming up. No, it was the Pandas fans all gathered around a car. They might have been tailgating. I'm not sure what they were doing. But it is great to see this support. It is great to see women's volleyball just getting this enthusiasm here in Langley.
Yeah, totally. And, of course, after these guys, we have another green and gold team coming up with the Sherbrooke coming after, so we might see some more green fall into this this building.
And green is my favorite color, so I cannot complain. Turn it back to the action here. It is Abby Guzin and the Pandas who are leading by 4 points here in the second set. But Guzin is going to be charged with her second service error.
Yeah, and Trinity, what do you feel like the Spartans need to do here to kind of close this gap? It feels like they've kind of slowed down a little bit, especially on the execution side.
I think, yeah, for sure, going back to the execution side of things, Bolden was so successful early on with those high attacks, using the block to her advantage, and I feel like she's getting caught a little bit more. But on the other side of things, I think the setters were spreading their offense much better than now. They're relying on their outside hitters a little bit too much, and I would like to see her either reverse the flow back to Plouffe or run some more middle here.
Well, Guzin coming out of the back, and the block going up with Bolden and Stothard. That is sent out of play. Last touch off of the Spartans. And the middles will go front to back on the Pandas side. So that means Hamid is off, talking to her coaching staff, seated on the bench. Bolden mishandles the first ball. Drieger tracks this down, and Plouffe still able to make an attack, tips this over, but handled easily by the Pandas. Dixon going up against Stothard, and Dixon wins the battle against Bella Stothard.
Yeah, we saw this a little bit last night too against UBC, where Stothard sometimes just kind of didn't have the right pressure at the right time, found that ball kind of dribbling down her forearms, and again, she's there, she's in the right spot, she's not making the right play with her hands.
Bolden. Dimitrik going over to Kaylee Plouffe. Nice delivery. Drops to position 6, and Guzin couldn't get it.
Yeah, Plouffe just having a game right now. That's going to take her up close to 500 on her efficiency. 7 kills on 13 attempts, only 1 error. Spartans needs to put a little more pressure from the service line, get Alberta off the net to close this gap.
Maren Bolden, standing at 6 feet tall, delivers that ball across. Now here's Henderson going to work, trying to tip this one, but Kaylee Plouffe says not a chance. The 2 best blockers for the Spartans, Plouffe and Stothard, the combination on that play.
Yeah, I mean, that's the wrong player to tip against. I mean, Plouffe is like big, but she flies in the sky. Here we see in the replay, nope, that extra little hang time, get out of here.
Back-to-back points for the Spartans. They draw within 3. Stepping around is Dixon. Nice defensive play by Rader, but it's not going to be good enough as the Spartans couldn't get between the aerials. And now the deficit is 4 with Justine Collodi stepping to the back row for the Pandas.
Yeah, Justine didn't have the best serving match last night, guys. She's been okay so far. Again, here we see how she's got obviously a great front row lineup. You want to make sure you get this ball in play.
Collodi, who has 14 assists on the night. Not going to pick up one here. It's the Spartans who are going to score. Tiana Dimitrik, by the way, she's under Collodi with 12 right now compared to the 14 for Collodi.
Yeah, I think that ball didn't come as fast as maybe Guzin was expecting it. Instead of kind of just using her hands, instead of she kind of almost did a half semi, a tomahawk at it. Didn't really get the control that she can have there.
Both liberos off for Trinity Western at the moment, with a middle and the back row serving, that being Isabella Stothard. Collodi. It'll be a middle run picked up shallow by Dimitrik. Now that second ball coming from Bolden, and Bolden's not going to pick up an assist as Ronnie Dixon, she is tough to get around. Part of that block for the Alberta Pandas. Dixon standing at 6'3".
Yeah, the middles from Alberta, really, really good. Here we see good pickup, transition. Not the best choice here from Plouffe. Not a big runway, didn't have the ability to kind of get up and in, and then unfortunately pull it down into that block.
Dimitrik on the move, still gets that ball over to the left side, and Drieger's going to go up over top of the block and out. And the Pandas extending their lead. Trinity Western took that opening set by 7. Now the Pandas threatening to do something similar here in the second. Peyton Henderson to serve. She was second on her team during the regular season in total attacks. No surprise, Abby Guzin receiving the ball the most from her setters. This is going to drop in just barely as the linesperson waves the red flag, and the Spartans are within 4.
Yeah, within 4, which is unbelievable because at the moment, guys, they're hitting 0% efficiency. How are you even this close in this match right now? Panda's hitting .353. Spartans got to find some rhythm in their offense and get a couple stops here.
And just to confirm, it is indeed Kaylee Plouffe served this time around. There was some confusion the last time, but it won't really matter. She's going to go out the back. As if you are just joining us earlier on, Plouffe went back for another serve, and it was actually Sienna Drieger who should have been in that rotation. Meantime, the Spartans are going to do a double sub as they prepare for this. Ronnie Dixon serve. Paisley Dickey, who spent some time injured this season, back out there on the floor. Sydney Gill will take over the setting duties with Tiana Dimitrik joining her teammates on the side. Dixon, notably, you can see her serving from the far side, away from that 300 section, making all of the noise. Drieger going to work. It was just one blocker up. Now Drieger going to try to stop this Guzin attack. Couldn't do it. Gill running the offense. Going over to Dickey. Dickey tipping over top of the block, taken at the 3-meter line by Collodi. Johnston. Powerful delivery down the line by McBain. Able to get there. 3 contacts by the Spartans. Not necessarily pretty, but Gill going over to Drieger. An extended rally. Misplayed at the net with Moore alongside Guzin. The Spartans are going to come away with that one. Not the most pretty rally, but the Spartans get the point.
Yeah, hey, at this stage, a point's a point. If you're the Spartans, you're going to find anything. I mean, that particular play there, I'm not sure if I like going back to Drieger there 2 times against Guzman. She's quite a big blocker.
So Sienna Drieger, in fact, is serving right now. Her team facing a 4-point deficit. That's too bad, as I did run into her grandfather, as I mentioned earlier on, and he was pretty excited about that, kind of saying, hey, thank you for mentioning Grunthal, Manitoba. Thank you for mentioning Steinbach, Manitoba. 2 places that I've never been. Have you?
No, I don't think I've ever been to that part of the world, specifically. Winnipeg, of course.
I know you've done Saskatchewan.
Yeah, lots of places, but...
Here's Johnson getting us back underway with the serve. And she'll pick up the ace, and the Pandas are in control. Ryan Hofer and the Spartans, no more timeouts to take.
Yeah, and it feels to me that the Spartans are kind of feeling now this pressure like we saw from the Pandas the first set. So interesting to see if they can rebound here, at least before the end of the set.
Second set, Trinity Western leading 1-0, but trailing here in the second by 6 points. Gill sending over a free ball. Now Collodi, one of the best setters in U Sports, running the offense, and there you go. The Pandas pick up another point. And perhaps Ryan Hofer will look to his bench to make some sort of substitution.
Yeah, it's a tough spot when you're out of timeouts here, Trinity. What would you think the coaching staff could do here?
I mean, at some point, you honestly just got to let the girls play and figure it out. And right now, we've seen a couple of those plays where it's a miscommunication. It's not necessarily execution or skill. It's just communication between 2 players that isn't happening, and they're ending up sending free balls over and putting the Pandas in a great spot.
And Guzin is starting to click as well with that left side swing. Not sure what the latest is for her efficiency, as she was struggling in that opening set. But the Pandas now have an 8-point advantage.
Yeah, it's going to bring her up to 176, so 17%, much better than we saw in that negative from the first set.
Grandia, who subbed in this set with the first ball. Now Bolden, she was shut down. Cron going back over to Bolden. Bolden shut down, but nice defensive play by the rookie Cron. Bolden setting it at a sharp angle. Guzin, perfect positioning. Stepping around is Moore. And that will be a point for the Pandas. Last touch off of the Spartans in an extended huddle. And it looks like Maren Bolden might have been carrying some of that discussion. One of the most experienced players out there on the floor right now for Trinity Western.
Yeah, they're just going back earlier than they normally would with a double sub, and yeah, that's kind of all you can really do at this point in time. You don't, when you use the double sub, you use up more of your subs, and they've used a couple before that.
Johnson on a service run, diving forward was Grandia. Nice defensive play. And the Spartans still able to make an attack, but Bolden's going to launch that out the back. And this looks like a set that they are going to try to forget about. Can they build any sort of momentum, any sort of offense heading into the third set?
Yeah, 24-14, 25-18, not great scores. Sorry, 25-18 last set. Not great scores for a national semifinal.
And it was Pandas early. Here's Bolden. Couple of blockers there, scramble on the Pandas side, so Bolden will pick up the kill, and let's see if they can build anything, because, I mean, Trinity, you would know as a volleyball player, you're just trying to build some sort of momentum here heading into the next set.
Right, you know, especially being down 9 points like they are right now, but you have that upper hand with already winning the first set, so can you have that goldfish mentality like we talked about a bit last night, forget about this set, move on, look forward to the next, and bring something that was missing in this one.
Claire Pakalek to serve. No libero out there for the Spartans on this rally. And they do trail by 9 points. Pakalek, first step is getting the ball over. Hamid had to chase that one down from outside of the court. The ball also coming from outside of the court from Johnston. Now Dimitric, the second-year setter, going over to Bolden. Bolden is blocked, and yes, it has been all Pandas, taking it by 10 points in the second set. And the Canada West champions will be serving first in the third set. Stay with us. You were watching the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice on CBC.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ici-tout.tv.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Welcome to Langley, and thank you so much for joining us live on CBC Sports, as CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada, and you can catch the best U Sports men's hockey teams as they face off in the 2026 University Cup presented by Steel Mazda, live from Halifax. The action starts Thursday, March 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC. It's where champions are made. Well, there you go. It's the Pandas who beat up on the Spartans in that second set, winning by 10 points. Tim James alongside Ryan Adams and Trinity Selecki. And Ryan, I'm going to throw a Taylor Swift kind of reference at you because the Spartans just need to shake it off. It's now just a best of three.
Well, yeah, you're right. I was going to throw a trading places reference. You know, that's basically what happened there. They just traded places. Alberta didn't play great through the end of that first set, and Trinity the same thing, kind of just to that midway on. They weren't great at all. Not great scores, not great efficiency. Trinity only hitting 3%, guys, in that third set. Alberta, on the flip side, hitting 40%. So, I mean, you're never going to win, any game in that situation, particularly a national semifinal.
And if you are just joining us this weekend, this is the first of two semifinals. As still to come tonight, live on CBC Sports, it will be Brock. It will be Sherbrooke. Ryan, that's what I'm looking forward to because both those teams, a lot of talent, both those teams winning their individual conference.
Yeah, a lot of talent, and also we don't get to see them a lot. So for us as commentators, really exciting to watch some new players, some great players, and some great programs.
And a different kind of style, too, when it comes to the different conferences. Really impressed with Sherbrooke's defense that I saw yesterday in the quarterfinal. We are officially underway in set number 3. Dixon going to work. The Spartans scrambling and get this back onto the Pandas' side. Middle run by Dixon, and we'll pick up the first point for the Pandas in this third set.
Yeah, this set is going to be very telling, I think, guys, to see what's going to happen the rest of this game. Not necessarily, who wins or who loses. Obviously, that will help either team, but just how they play. If both teams play well, then, yeah, maybe you lose this, but, you're in the game. But right now, we'll see who actually is in the game and shake off, like Tim said, that first or second set.
Marin Bolden going to work, shut down with the block. Popped up, though, by Stothard. Now Dimitrik will send this over deep, picked up by Hamid the libero. Just one libero for the Pandas, 2 for the Spartans, and it's a second kill for the Pandas in this set.
Yeah, right now to me it looks like Alberta's a bit more dialed in, a bit more efficient, a bit more aggressive with their, not just their play, but also their attitude on the court.
I definitely like the way Colodey's running her offense right now. I feel like this past 2 sets we were really reliant on the left side hitters, but so far we've spread it out into the middle and back to the right side as well.
Stothard with some quick defense there, but the Pandas equal to the task, and then Plouffe with a bullet picks up the kill from the right side, her 10th kill of the night.
Well, sometimes you don't really know what's going to happen when Plouffe gets up there, and that one I thought it was going to be not a great result, but she proved me wrong. If you're a Spartan fan out there, you're probably happy about that. But, man, she can just get up. I just love, though, how Dimitri's kind of just jack that ball up and let her go get it.
Tiana Dimitrik now serving for Trinity Western with 16 assists. Colodey for the Pandas with 18. Looking for number 19. Guzin going to work, and there you go. Abby Guzin, the left side kill for Alberta. Quick side out, and Alberta up by 2.
Yeah, that's going to take Abby above 200. Remember, guys, negative in that first set, and we don't unfortunately have sort of set-to-set stats of how they're doing, but she's obviously picked up her game, which is huge for the Pandas.
Ronnie Dixon now back to serve. She has one dig so far tonight. Let's see if she gets another. She has to play defense. No libero out there. This ball not going to get through, though, from Stothard, hitting out to the right side, over to the left side. Bolden sending it down the line, picked up by Collodi, out of system. Dixon going over to Guzin. Diving forward was McBain. Now the Spartans offense will have this come right back over Stothard, tracking at the net, taking out the setter. Second ball once again coming from Dixon. Here's Dimitric, the extended rally. Bolden dropping this in. Oh, 3 contacts by the Pandas. Trinity Western still trails by 2. Now Plouffe sends it at a sharp angle and scores her 11th kill of the night.
Wow, 11 kills already here, only at the start of the third set. You know, that's really great. I think they need to find Plouffe even more. She's having so much success right now. Just jack that ball up there like we see in the replay and let her go get it.
And here is Maren Bolden from just outside of Calgary, a place called Okotoks. Drieger from Grunthal, Manitoba, sending that ball over. Now the Pandas offense going to work. It's a nice right side swing with Johnston picking up the kill for the Pandas, and Alberta is up by 2.
Yeah, Johnston having sort of a quiet, efficient night, but what's not ever quiet about her is her celebrations. There's a little bit of attitude and swagger, and I like how she brings that to this Panda team. You're seeing the replay.
Yeah, even if she's not the one getting the kill or getting the block or getting the point, she's always there supporting her team and bringing that sass and that swagger that you were talking about.
Drieger 2 feet too far on that delivery. It was passed up by Dimitric. And now it's a 3-point lead for the Pandas. Spartans coach Ryan Hofer still with, of course, both of his timeouts early in this third set.
Yeah, and this is tough as a coaching staff. Sometimes when things are not going your way, it's sometimes hard to know what to do, but even more magnified when you're hosting at home here in the semifinals.
Dimitric over to Plouffe, going off the block, and that goes off of the hand of Moore. Point for Trinity Western.
Yeah, great swing again. Here we see on the replay. Again, just feed the beast, give her the ball, let her go to work. She's hitting so high. Even if the blockers is there, she's just finding positive results off the hands and out of bounds.
Stothard going to position 6 on the serve. Collodi getting that over to the left side, but Guzin can't finish. That was dug up in the back. Now over to Kaylee Plouffe. Hits that to position 6. The Pandas, good defense. There's a sneaky one picked up by Drieger, though. She had to reach back. And there's Plouffe, absolutely rejected. Moore and Guzin, the combination for the Pandas.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. A little bit flat. And again, this is where some of this decision-making from Plouffe, again, not a lot of runway, but also a bit flat. Dimitric's made that adjustment here in the last half of this second semester, but there we saw a little bit what she used to do, set that ball a bit too flat for the zone, not letting Plouffe get up there and get around, or at least a positive touch off the block.
Off the Abby Guzin serve, it will be an ace. She has 7 kills on the night. That's now her second ace.
And Guzin finding her way here, and you know, we talked about Guzin and Bolden. Bolden had that amazing first set, guys. She needs to show up here and show up pretty quickly for the Spartans.
Guzin put some spin on the serve, taken by Plouffe. Had to go down to a knee to play that ball. Now Drieger sends over top of 2 blockers. In system, Collodi going over to Henderson, forcing the setter dive to the ground. Now Bolden passes it over. In system once again. Stepping around is Moore, who finds the court. An impressive play from the right side from the middle.
Yeah, we'll see a timeout here probably from the Spartans. There it is. And, you know, we talked about last night with UBC Trinity, you know, super overactivated or underactivated. They got to take some deep breaths. This is where some of that sports psych training you've probably done through this, and you got to just find yourself in that ideal performance state. Right now, Alberta's found that, and unfortunately, Trinity is missing it at the moment.
Well, if you want to join us here, please do. We've got the gold medal match tomorrow, the bronze medal match as well, and hey, there's another semifinal tonight. The 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice continues all weekend in Langley, British Columbia, March 13th to 15th. Tournament packages and single game tickets are on sale now. You can visit usportstickets.ca to order your tickets today. Chase the glory. Well, looking around here at the LEC, it is a smaller crowd than what we saw yesterday, but hey, I got to say, it doesn't surprise me entirely because Trinity knows that the UBC fans will travel. It's, you know, Ryan and I were kind of joking. How far is it from UBC to Trinity Western? Sometimes it's like 2 hours.
It's farther than you think.
It depends on the time of day for sure.
Yeah, but the Thunderbirds fans, of course, coming out, and they were coming out earlier today as well in the consolation final. You were calling that one as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we didn't have nearly as many fans as yesterday from UBC again today, this morning, but it was still a great turnout. And even for the fans on the Alberta side, it's so great to see so many green shirts coming all the way from Alberta for this moment tonight.
Back to the action here off the Plouffe attack. Now the Pandas going to work, and this is popped up by Bolden, and the first point out of that Trinity Western timeout will go to the Alberta Pandas.
Yeah, and things are not going well. And this is, we talked about this last night a little bit where, Spartans always go to that double sub. You can see the coaching staff, Hofer down on his knee, talking to assistant coaches, where if you kind of always come to that double sub, it doesn't give you the opportunity to maybe just do a single sub, just maybe setter for setter, which sometimes, again, I don't think Tiana's doing a bad job, but sometimes just having a different voice, a different sense, a different personality on the floor can go a long way.
And it looks like Ryan Hofer in discussion right now with Alicia Perrin, assistant coach for the Spartans. Meantime, Sophia Rader, the libero, returning to the floor. And she plays as libero when it comes to the serve. Michaela McBain on this serve receive. Kaylee Plouffe delivers this ball out the back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because really the only way you can make up this gap, Trinity, is with some positive serve results, whether that's an ace or even a 2 or 1 pass. So unfortunate serve.
For sure, and Plouffe has, one of those serves where the efficiency is either ace or a 1 pass or unfortunately an error, but in this point of the match where you are down, can you find a way to put a little bit more control behind it?
Yeah. That's Sienna Drieger with the kill from the left side. She'll go back to put this ball in play. The Spartans have, so far this set, yet to been able to string 2 points together. So back to back, let's see if the Spartans can score on the serve. 3-player serve receive sets up for the Alberta Pandas, including Hamid, the libero, wearing the black jersey. This stays away from Hamid, though. It was Henderson who played the ball first. Now out of the back is Guzin, who could make a good attack on it. This will be Bolden, tight to the net, takes a swat at this. Hamid on second ball. Henderson had to reevaluate her approach. There's the dump by Dimitri. Good coverage there. And it will be the Pandas who come away with it, as good defense from Johnson and Henderson with the finish from the left side.
Yeah, and the Spartans are feeling a little bit like they were last night at UBC at moments, just a little bit hesitant. Is it my ball? Is it not? Do I go? Do I don't? And then the quality of pass of that first contact, not as good, which then affects the second contact, and they just cannot find their rhythm. And on the flip side of the coin, the Pandas are just flowing right now.
Justine Colodi getting that ball across, and there's a big swing by Henderson, but nice defense coming from the Spartans. Now Bolden looking to go down the line, picked up by Colodi. Hamid. Left side, Henderson, 2 blockers, popped up, 3 contacts coming for the Spartans. Bolden taking Hamid down to the ground. Pandas going to offense. That was Grandia. Good dig. Bolden taking a swat at this. Now Bolden backpedaling, sends that at a sharp angle. An impressive play, but couldn't finish it off. Now here's Henderson. She's going to send it at a sharp angle. McBain diving forward. Dixon tracks it at the net, and finally you can catch your breath. It is a Pandas point.
Yeah, tons of pressure coming right now. The Spartans just kind of like a waterfall. Coach Ben Joseph used to always talk about it, just like a waterfall, just pressure. And after a while, that pressure is just too much. Oh, this is great. Then after a while, like, man, I got to get out. Standing out of this waterfall. It's hurting me.
Colodi. And she is going to go out the back, so it will be a point for Trinity Western. And now the Spartans will go front to back with their middles as Isabella Stothert returns to the floor. The front row middle, one of the best blockers for Trinity Western. 2 attackers at the net for the Spartans with Bolden and Stothert. Dimitri also at the front. Off of the Cron serve, Henderson going to work. Here's Dimitri to Bolden. Good power and drops that into position 5. Good placement by Bolden.
Yeah, world-class shot there from Bolden. High cross, deep corner, in. You can't place it much better than that, and most teams are not going to cover or play that ball because it's such a hard ball to hit, and Bolden that time makes it work for her.
And for the first time in this set, the Spartans get back-to-back points. Cron back to serve once again. Goes to position 6 on the serve. Middle run. Taken by Johnston. Kill for the Pandas. They're up by 6 in the 3rd set.
Yeah, and Spartans got to find sort of some more aggressiveness from the baseline. They're not going to come back in this game by just kind of putting the serves in. Pandas are in flow too much right now. They got to stay aggressive, keep that mindset, try to get a point or off the net.
Pandas back to the top of the order with Henderson back for her second rotation serving. There's a wild second ball, and Bolden's not going to be able to play it, so Henderson will go back to serve once again. Trinity Western still with 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, this is to me why, if you're Coach Hofer, I just do the single sub with Cindy Gill. Just put her in there, change it up. Again, it's nothing that Dimitri's done wrong, but you need some sort of change here in your lineup. Because you're not going to take off Kaylee Plouffe, right? So you don't do the double sub. Now Tiana's coming to the back row here. But because they don't really have never done that, and that's kind of one of the challenges. You're so committed to that double sub the whole time, you can't pull that single sub, or they don't really have that. I've never really seen them, Tim, pull a single sub, to be honest. And so now you're in a situation where you're not comfortable doing it.
Teyana Dimitric in her second season compared to Kolodi, who is in her 5th season, and Dimitric picks up the ace at a big time for Trinity Western as they try to get back in this 3rd set, as we are tied 1 set apiece with the Pandas in control here in the 3rd.
Yeah, what they need here is a big block. You know, sometimes blocks are worth 2 points because of the emotion that comes with it. So let's see if they can get one.
Well, you're asking for a block, and Isabella Stothert is the middle right now in the front for the Spartans. Hamid pops that ball up. Kolodi makes the set from behind the 3-meter line. Now Dimitric taken out, so second ball coming from Raider. One of 2 liberos for the Spartans. Diving over was Hamid, getting that bold an attack. Now Guzin fans on this. She wasn't perfect in the first set and takes a swipe and a miss there. Dimitric will continue to serve. 3 straight points for the Spartans.
Yeah, well, bad miss obviously by Guzin, but more so just a bad time to miss. You have so much pressure on the Spartans now. You've got to make them earn these points.
Dimitric wearing those neon shoes sends this ball into the net. There was some energy here at the LAC, some momentum building. But Dimitric places that into the net, and this brings up Dixon. Ronnie Dixon, one of the taller players on the Pandas roster. Abby Guzin listed at 6'5", Dixon at 6'3". Bolden looking to tip down the line. She was stopped. Guzin was there, but the Spartans send her right back over and pick up the point.
Yeah, they'll take it. A little bit lucky. And again, kind of we talk about the Plouffe. You probably don't want to tip on Plouffe. You probably don't want to try to tip over Guzin either. You got to either going to do that, you got to push it pretty high, pretty deep, or maybe try to find that inside seam.
Especially against a good player like Guzin, who is high and up there, but also her timing is impeccable. And seeing a tip come into her hand, she's going to try and stay up there longer and just throw that back down at you.
Off the Bolden serve, she's only going to serve once here with a Pandas point. 5-point lead now for the visitors.
Yeah, one of the stats we don't have, guys, is sort of passing efficiency. And, you know, it'd be interesting right now. I think Pandas are really in flow. My guess is they're, mid-2s, high-2s at a 3-point scale, where I think the Spartans are probably, low 10s, even below that maybe.
Johnston sending this ball across. Now here's Dimitric. Over to Grandia in the front row, picking up her first kill of the night.
Well, I'm glad they kept Grandia in there just to change some things up, Get something new. Remember, Tim, we talked about in the playoffs, I felt like Grandia could play an important part of the Spartans National Championship run. Let's see if she can keep going.
This brings up Isabella Stothert for the Spartans. Serving next for the Pandas will be Abby Guzin, and she is a threat from running the pipe as well. Here's Guzin. She's in the front row right now. Left side, easy kill. She will rotate to the back row. And it was Guzin who went on a serving run earlier on this set that helped put the Spartans, or rather the Pandas, now up by 5.
Yeah, Guzin's still not having a great night efficiency-wise, guys. Only hitting 16%, but just sometimes the way she hits it, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
McBain, Dimitric, Plouffe. Out of system. Hamid, Henderson, sharp angle, too sharp as that goes out. Even Spartans coach Ryan Ofer just given some clear indication to the officials that one was gone.
Yeah, you see assistant coach Lori Eisler not happy with that error from Henderson. Again, these are the errors you cannot be making at this moment if you're the Pandas.
When you say assistant coach, I mean general manager Lori Eisler.
Oh, well,
you can't disrespect. She's a legend in Alberta. I'm just saying, before we get emails, this is an ace, however. Talking about legends from Alberta, Kaylee Plouffe is one of them, and she's from Sherwood Park.
Yeah, legend. I mean, Carolyn O'Dwyer has probably like the best coaching staff in U Sport. Like all 4 of those coaches that have been U Sport head coaches at different programs.
Kaylee Plouffe, who leads her team in kills, getting this ball across. 3 contacts by the Pandas after that scramble. Can the Spartans settle things down? It will be out of system. Grandia going close. The block was up. You could see the penetration there coming from Moore. Here's Grandia, hard off of the block. Tough to get around that. Here's Guzin. I mentioned she could come out of the back, and there you go. Easy as day, runs out of the pipe. She is such a threat from the back row, the front row, wherever she is on the court.
Yeah, but we haven't actually seen her hit a ton of pipe balls yet with a lot of pace. So to me, I'm kind of waiting and reading a little bit more and watching that early tip, and it's a great spot from Guzin.
I like seeing her bring a little bit more off speed when she is in the back row, because obviously as a Spartan, you're expecting her to come out firing. So smart shot by her, but can she still bring some more pace behind it?
Moore goes into the net, and this will bring up Taryn Grandia to serve. And she had subbed in for Sienna Drieger. Drieger, who had an excellent match last night. Not the same enthusiasm here when it comes to, at least statistically. And this will bring up Grandia, wearing number 1 for Trinity Western in the pinstripes. Henderson tipping over top of the block, so the defense collapsed. Plouffe hitting the ground, claiming that one stayed up, but Andrew Robb, referee 1, says nope, that landed down on the ground.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get too much argument from the Spartan players here. Great shot, great tip. Oh, I mean, again, you see the replay. It was close, yeah. But again, you know, it can be partially up, right? Totally. Partially off the hand.
You don't often hear boos here at the LEC, so that was an interesting experience just from a spectator perspective. Running out of the back, you talked about the pace. There's Guzin with some pace. Now Bolden hitting that defensive play by Guzin, but not good enough. It's Mirren Bolden with the last lap.
Yeah, line over seam. We're going to need to see that. That's one of Bolden's go-to shots. Here's you stopper coming in. Come on, let's go. But starts with what an amazing dig from the Spartans and the great placement by Bolden. And man, 16-19, guys, here we are. Spartans actually have a chance for this set. If they get this set, oh my goodness, it's going to change the dynamics of this match.
And Claire Pakalek coming in to serve in place of London Cron. Pakalek going to position 6 on the serve, easily handled by Guzin. The block going up, this is going to go down the line, and it does tag the line. Johnston nicely done for the Pandas, and Alberta back up by 4. Trinity Western still with 1 timeout remaining in this set.
Yeah, Johnston there going up, hitting over 400 guys. That's going to be her 8th kill on 16 attempts, just having a match at the moment.
Pandas back to the top of the order when it comes to servers. Henderson, who started off this set, now looking at a 4-point lead for the Pandas, and picks up an ace as Bolden, in her 4th season, mishandles that one. Goes off the Booster Juice logo. And now it's back to Henderson once again.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That might be the set, guy. You cannot give up an ace at this stage of the game. I mean, really at any time at this level, but at that moment we were kind of found a little bit of momentum, a little bit of energy, and then all of a sudden you get aced, and now it's 21-16.
And fans, U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience, and now you have a chance during this timeout. You can visit usportsfans.ca or click the QR code on the screen to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win U Sports prizes. Join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca. So Tim James alongside Ryan Adams from Volleyball BC and former U Sports player, specifically for the UBC Thunderbirds, Trinity Selecki. And Trinity, we were talking about it yesterday. Okay, what's Doug Reimer saying? What's going on in the timeout? But I'm going to kind of put it to you. You haven't been in this huddle necessarily with Ryan Hofer. What do you think's being said?
I mean, I can imagine that it's probably somewhere along the same lines as Doug Reimer would be saying. But, you know, you're down right now, but you have that energy and that momentum on your side. Can you relax and feed into it? And, you know, take each point one by one. Don't get too ahead of yourself and don't dwell on the past either.
Spartans now without any more timeouts. They trail by 5 points. Now's the time to kick it into 3rd gear. Here's Grandia, plays it shallow. Not what the Spartans needed, as now the Pandas able to run in system. Beautiful Johnston from the right side. And it's looking like the Pandas are going to take this 3rd set and go up 2-1.
Yeah, and here seeing this replay, I just don't understand why we're not just jacking that ball up to Plouffe there, and then Plouffe's got to be calling for it. Yeah, here. Back, in front.
3-player serve receive. And Henderson is going to be off the mark on that delivery.
Yeah, I mean, Spartans only hitting 14%, guys. Pandas almost at 400, 394. Last set saw them at 409. So Pandas doing a great job. But again, Spartans got to put pressure, more pressure from the baseline.
Dimitric with 3 service errors in this one. The most recent one went into the net. This one goes across, picked up by Henderson on the first contact. Johnston couldn't finish. Now Rader going over to Bolden. And Bolden over top of the block and no touch. Point for the Pandas.
Yeah, and I get the thought process there from Bolden, but again, I think at this point in time, you just got to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe kind of high line, wipe edges, not kind of going for that roll over. It's a tough shot to hit at the best of times, let alone here in the national semifinals.
Dixon with 5 kills on the night. No aces. Dimitric, big push over to the pin, and it's Plouffe. Beautiful connection from the center to the right side, hitting out to the left on that rally.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the Pandas are just letting Goosen block one-on-one on the outside. Look how they're starting. They're not even worried. They're not even worried about the middle and the right side. They're just trying to get 2 players on Plouffe, and she still finds a way.
Bolden gets the ace. That's what the Spartans needed at this time. Back-to-back points by the home side, but they still trail by 4 here in the 3rd set. And Carolyn O'Dwyer using her first timeout of this set. She used both of them last set, but here we go. The Spartans starting to build a bit of momentum.
Yeah, I mean, every coach has their philosophy. Maybe for me a little bit earlier, maybe to let them go. The Pandas have been in rhythm here. I don't think, one bad play to me is not necessary, but she does have 2 in her pocket, so maybe that's her strategy is, hey, I take one down. If I need to take another one, she'll probably take it, mid 2021, maybe run for a couple, then she can take it now. But yeah, Trinity, what do you think the Pandas are saying right now in their huddle?
I mean, the past 2 points the Spartans got that went their way. Obviously, a big kill from Plouffe there. And I think at some point you just need to realize the other team's going to score points. You can't let that get to you. You need to go back to what was working for you. And I think Kolodi has been running such an amazing offense. She has all of her 3 hitters available. They're passing super well, always in system, and I think that's a big difference for this set between the 2 teams. The Spartans are a little bit more out of system and relying on their outside hitters a little bit too much, whereas the Pandas have been doing a great job on serve receive, putting Kolodi in a great position to set her hitters.
Justine Kolodi at 30 assists on the night. Tiana Dimitrik at 23, but keep in mind the double sub that Trinity Western has gone to. Maren Bolden to get us back underway after back-to-back points. She just had an ace and gets another one here, bringing the Spartan faithful to their feet once again at the LEC.
Well, big players match big moments, and right now Bolden's doing that for the Spartans, down, bringing her team back within striking distance, guys. 20-23. Here we go, Spartans.
It's a relatively shallow serve receive. Float serve, easily handled by Henderson. Now Goosen going to work, but that was dug up by a diving Bolden. Now Plouffe takes a swat at it, takes out the setter. Johnson with the second ball. Goosen puts some spin on it. Now Dimitrik, the Spartans in system. Back over to Plouffe. Plouffe scores!
Wow, and Bolden, what a dig. No, she did it from the baseline. She did it on that extended dig on that first ball. When you extend as a defender, your range extends. And not only did she get it up, guys, she got up with some quality, give herself a chance to get her teammate, her partner in crime, Plouffe, the opportunity. A little bit low for her in that first ball. Tiana does a good job on that second ball, giving her the opportunity to swing a little bit higher, a little bit more aggressive.
Alberta Pandas taking another timeout after back-to-back points from the Spartans. And you know what? That's something, Ryan, you nailed it there, that Bolden, she's playing so impressive from the back row, the digs. We often talk about offensively what she's done because, her and Abby Goosen, we always talk about what they do at the net, but those defensive plays, Bolden, in a pivotal time as well. Do you think it's because she's a 4th year? She has that experience. She's seen this before.
Well, I think it's just because, she's a good quality player, and she's not letting, hey, I'm not having the best night offensively, but I still can contribute in other ways, and that's what good leaders do. Obviously, sometimes you don't have to be a 4th year to be a good leader, but she's doing a good job tonight. Hey, Trinity.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, honestly.
4 straight points by the Spartans. Maren Bolden back to serve once again. Still a relatively shallow serve receive. Anchored in the middle by Henderson. And Henderson will play that ball out of position 6. Right. Over to Goosen. Popped up by Bolden with one arm. The Spartans, they'll be able to make 3 contacts. Well, who's going to play that third ball as Stothert was right next to Rader. Now Dimitrik. Here's Rader. Cleanly playing that second ball off of a pass, and Plouffe is blocked as Goosen and Moore shut down the Spartans offense and shut down that run. It looked like the Spartans challenging something here, looking up at referee 1, Andrew Robb.
Yeah, and they're going to get a little bit of a warning here for the cheer away. So you can cheer and celebrate, but you do it towards your teammates, not across the net. But you know what? I think it's fine. That's what you're going to expect at this level.
A little bit of a stare down. Yeah. Never hurt nobody.
Set point now for the Pandas. Johnston sending this ball across. Spartans to the offense. Plouffe is blocked. Popped up, but only momentarily. It will be a Pandas point. We saw the momentum starting to shift at the end, but it was the Pandas who locked in and took that set by 4 points. Stay with us. It will be the Spartans serving first in the next set. The Spartans trying to bounce back. You are watching the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice on CBC.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan. A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Delaney, territoire du Nord-Ouest. Le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Welcome back to Langley, where it's mostly cloudy outside and 4 degrees. In Edmonton right now, -12, a bit of a different story, but we appreciate your time wherever you were watching from. And CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. Catch the gold medal game of the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice Sunday night here at 9 p.m. Eastern on CBC Gem and cbcsports.ca. U Sports on CBC. Chase the glory. Tim James, the broadcaster here, former Pandas broadcaster about 15 years ago, joined by Ryan Adams from Volleyball BC and Trinity Selecki, who played for the UBC Thunderbirds not too long ago. And Ryan, what can we say here? It was the Spartans who took that opening set by 7 points, and now it has been Pandas in back-to-back sets.
Yeah, then Spartans just got to find a way, and you know, we haven't seen a set yet where both these teams are playing their best. And so hopefully, you know, from a volleyball fan perspective, we can see that and, you know, let the chips lie where they fall. But right now, the Spartans got to find a way, and it starts with just kind of your mentality, your attitude, and just really kind of resetting here in this fourth and crucial set.
Ziana Dimikrit, the setter, getting us back underway. Here's Justine Colodi, and she goes over to the left side. It's Henderson who picks up the opening kill of this fourth set. The Pandas looking to continue some momentum after winning, again, the second and third set to be up 2-1. Justine Colodi going across to Bolden, who had some impressive defensive plays in the third set. It's Plouffe from the left side, the pride of Sherwood Park, picking up the kill.
Yeah, good tip selection there from Plouffe. You know, finding a different spot, not just even pure pot, but she's so high she can kind of also flush that pot tip a bit flatter than most players.
Maren Bolden going down the line on the serve. Hamid. That was Henderson with the delivery. Rader diving in the back, and there's Drieger who goes to work from the left side to score.
Yeah, Drieger's going to find some of her magic she had last night, guys. If the Spartans, I think, going to have a chance here. Obviously, they all need to play well, but they need a bit more efficiency. Someone else to step up besides Plouffe at the moment.
Maren Bolden looking over. I can see some of the athletes who will be playing in the next semifinal just entering the LEC right now.
Out.
This one just going to go out. Oh, there's a little bit of weight here.
Out. Oh. It was out.
So Ryan Hofer can't believe it. Carolyn
Yeah.
O'Dwyer clapping her hands.
Yeah, that's...
As first referee Andrew Robb
it was
was calling this a toss-up. And now he's going to bring over Ryan Bunyan.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the reserve. I mean, it was out on the far side, Trinity. I don't know if that's what you saw here, see in the replay, but it was out, not even close to being in my opinion.
I saw it out as well, but I think somebody tried to call a touch on it somewhere.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it will be a Spartans point.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Coach Dwyer's kind of talking about there, but to me it was pretty clear that it was out, and you have 4 linesperson for a reason. That's his call. He called it out. Even if the other linesperson calls it in, because it's on that kind of that way in, it doesn't matter.
3 straight points for the Spartans after some discussion on that one. Off of the Bolden serve, trouble for the Pandas, but Henderson coming through, and there you go, even on a broken down play, going up against Plouffe and Stothard. Henderson makes them pay.
Yeah, blocking hasn't been the Spartans' strengths tonight. Again, they're there, but just getting really beat down that net side on the ball, and you gotta get your hands into space a bit more, and maybe it's an eye work thing, maybe it's a timing thing, or maybe it's just because the Pandas are just doing a really good job offensively right now.
Henderson to serve for the Pandas. At the center of the serve receives McBain. Doesn't matter who's the center of the serve receives. That one goes into the net.
Yeah, and to me, you know, I think the Spartans are the ones going to feel the pressure right now. So to me, they got to build a little bit of a lead here so that they can kind of not relax, but just kind of feel a bit good about themselves. If the Pandas go on a run and kind of get their own lead, I feel like Spartans are going to have a really hard time finishing out this fourth set.
For sure, and I think the beginning of this set is super important for both sides, right? It's do or die for the Spartans. They're coming out super strong right now, but can the Pandas also come out with that energy? Somebody needs to get a run here.
And the Spartans are called on the net, so this will bring up Dixon. Spartans coach Ryan Hofer. Again, he's been around since 2006. Lots of experience. A couple of national championships, 2015, 2022. Could he add one here in 2026?
Well, to be fair, Tim, I think some of those COVID years, I think Trinity had probably one of the top teams, if not the top team going in there. I know Trinity you were playing, but you know, just knowing from my experience and watching, you know, a lot of volleyball, felt they had probably the teams to make a run in those 2 years that they didn't get a chance to do it, unfortunately. So of course everybody was in the same boat there, but when you have a really, really strong team and it could be your year and that happens, it's just unfortunate.
Off of the Plouffe serve. Guzin tipping over top of the block. The defense collapses. Drieger was there to make the first contact, and Bolden comes up and picks up the point for the Spartans, who are now up by 3.
Well, I like that play, not because it's just a kill, obviously a nice pipe run, but you know, Tiana just being confident in rhythm, on the pipe, in transition, and then Bolden going up and being aggressive. That's what the Spartans need, just to keep things in rhythm, offensive flowing.
Kaylee Plouffe in her 5th and final season of eligibility. Block going up, London Braun, the queen of the middle, getting the job done for the Spartans, who have jumped out to a 4-point lead in the 4th set. And Carolyn O'Dwyer says that's enough. The Pandas take their first time out.
Yeah, guys, Spartans have 1 total block right now, which that might pop up to 2 here, which is unbelievable. So, you know, again, you don't score a ton of blocks, you know, each set, but just to only have 1 so far, maybe now 2. Yeah, 2 after that stat. It's, you know, at this level, you probably want to have a few more in this moment in this match.
Well, don't forget, CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada, and you can catch the gold medal game of the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball Championship Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. U Sports on CBC. Chase the glory. And Ryan, I want
or maybe we're the bad luck charm, Trinity. Yeah. Well, on that note, after I was done coaching here so I coached 3 years with the women's, 4 years with the men's, and then I said, hey, you know, Doug, we're going off a run of 6 national championships in a row. Hey, can I come hang out in your gym? Did that for 3 years with the Thunderbirds. Didn't win in those 3 years, so I think I was the bad luck charm for the Thunderbirds for those 3 years.
Kaylee Plouffe picking up the ace. And you know, I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to all of the crew there at the U of A who put together the broadcast. Grayson Knutson, I know, doing the play-by-play. They have a phenomenal team there at the Saville Community Sports Center. Again, I was the broadcaster out there a little while ago, 2011, 2012, that kind of era. So shout out to all of those people working at the Saville.
Yeah, 9-4, and this is a good lead, obviously, for Trinity. But again, I just feel like they kind of have to have this. I feel like they're the ones who are going to feel the weight a little bit more than Alberta. And I think in that 5th set, I think it's going to be Alberta. If it gets to 5, that's going to be feeling that pressure.
Johnston going to McBain, down to a knee to play that ball to Dimitric. Big push over to London Braun, stepping around, and she's going to tag the line and score.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go. It's the long, loopy score in the back corner, and the ball's almost coming slow motion like the Matrix, and you're like, get out of the way. Oh, that went in.
Sienna Drieger, there was part of that confusion in the 2nd set. You may remember it was Drieger's serve. Plouffe went back to serve the ball. Confusion this time, yep. All Drieger gets the ball across. Nice serve, but stepping around is Moore, and she's rejected Bolden and Cron, and my goodness, do you feel the momentum has shifted? Do you feel the vibe has changed here at the LEC?
Well, yeah, and I think Trinity, we just saw that block we were talking about. They needed some block, and I know as a player, sometimes just getting that big block, it's like almost worth 2 points, and you just feel so good, so much momentum, especially in this scenario where Alberta's really been having their way the last 2 sets with the Spartans.
For sure, and Bolden is an amazing blocker, and I think that's been missing a little bit from her offensive presence as well. She gets up there, she's high, and she's pressed over really nice and early, and so it's great to see that, especially at this point in the match.
Well, fans, don't forget, U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Not only can you send us an email, usportschampionship@gmail.com, you can also visit usportsfans.ca to join our fan advisory panel. You can tell us about yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback, by your chance, and also your chance to win U Sports prizes. Just join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca. Tim James alongside Ryan Adams and Trinity Selecki. We're having some fun here on this Saturday. I know I had circled this weekend in the calendar for more than a year. Finally, we are here, Ryan, and is it living up to the hype?
Yeah, so far, especially if Trinity can pull this off again and go to another 5-setter semifinal match would be unbelievable.
Hamid. There's Kolodi going over to Guzin. A nice play. A quick 1-2-3 to side out for the Pandas. And they are now behind by 6. No more timeouts, though, for Carolyn O'Dwyer.
Yeah, crazy. And, just before that hit, Pandas hitting -11. Spartans perfect at the moment. 4 kills, 4 attempts, no errors. But here's a big server from the service line for the Pandas.
Yeah, Abby Guzin. Watch out for her from the back as well offensively. Dimitri. Going to Kaylee Plouffe out of the back, and she scores. Yeah. Plouffe running out of the pipe.
Yeah, and the Alberta bench really needs to stop. They're like overreacting. The coaches are overreacting. Again, at some point in time, you got the call is in. It was in, I thought, by a mile. And, referees, the head officials especially, are not going to be okay with you that you keep harassing the lines people.
London Cron delivers this ball over. Guzin running out of the back. Comes out of the pipe, and that almost went to the deck number 2 here at the LEC. Good run by Guzin, and yeah, watch out for her out of the pipe. Point for the Pandas. They trail by 6.
Yeah, Guzin doing a better job, but still, guys, only 18% efficiency, 33 total attempts, 11 kills. Another ace on Bolden there, and to me, she gets stuck there a little bit, Trinity, on that outside foot, so she doesn't keep her base, and then she can't really move when that ball floats at her at the very end. Is that what you're seeing too?
For sure, and I think being that front row attacker and outlet for the Spartans right now, you want to get your pass, but you also want to get yourself available to make that attack.
Allie Moore wearing Katie Buckle's old number 6, something to celebrate about. 3 straight points for the Pandas. Oh, wow. Back onto the Pandas side. Stepping around is Dix, and she scores. Make it 4 straight for the visitors. They are drawn within striking distance here, trailing by 3, and the Spartans making a substitution with Taryn Grandia coming to the floor in place of Sienna Drieger.
Yeah, and this is what you were not hoping for if you're a Spartan fan. This is change of momentum. Again, I know it's a 3-point lead still, but you can feel Alberta kind of settling into themselves again and finding some rhythm.
Grandia misplays this ball after just subbing in. Bolden sending it across. A free ball for the Pandas to work with. Kolodi, one of the best setters in the country, going over to Guzin. Player of the year now, Bolden. Off the block hard. Guzin picks it up in the back. Kolodi moving. It is a Pandas point. Everything is going right. Alberta going off of the hands to score. Alberta now trailing by 2.
Yeah, Mackenzie Poole came in yesterday as well. Didn't have a great offensive game, but did a great job in the back row and just on the serve receive for the Pandas. And here she's successful with that front row attack and bringing out a lot of energy after that great kill.
I was going to talk about Mackenzie Poole because, she's not from too far from here. She's from Burnaby, so I kind of wondered if she's got the fans. Maybe that's all the green there. It's all the Mackenzie Poole fans. But when we were talking, Ryan, to Carolyn O'Dwyer a couple of days ago and asking about what their plans are, they made it clear, Carolyn made it clear that the Pandas are not going to do any family dinners. They're not going to Burnaby. They're not going to see anybody here in BC. They're staying around the hotel, doing lots of video. And this even goes to on Media Day. All of the teams, except for Alberta, so 7 out of the 8 decided to take part in those promo photos to have some fun. But Carolyn O'Dwyer running the tight ship, saying that could be a distraction. She said, hey, I appreciate the service by Trinity Western, but could be distraction.
Could be distraction. Again, the Pandas haven't had the success they probably, wanted to have the last few years and rightly deserved maybe. And so here they are. No, we're focused in. Nothing's getting in the way of us achieving our goal this year.
Moore back to serve once again. Popped up by Bolden. That was going close to the end line. And now Grandia sends this back in. No attack made by the Spartans, so a free ball for the Pandas to work with in system. Out of the back is Guzin with a bullet. And the Pandas are 1 point away from tying this one.
Yeah, 1 point away. Who would have thought, guys? And here we go. And again, to me, the difference is, on the Pandas float serves, they actually just let them float. The Spartans have been having a lot of backspin on some of their float servers, not really allowing that ball to work.
Here's Bolden. Sends it at a sharp angle. The Pandas still a chance to get this one in. Yes, and Guzin still able to make a decent attack on it. Stothard pops this up to Dimitric with the dump. Kolodi. Guzin. Coming with the D-ball. Ties this one up. Just a few minutes ago, it was 12-5 for the Spartans. We are now tied at 12.
Yeah, great run here we see on the replay. No right side, so Guzin fills in that gap because you want to make sure you occupy both antennas, spread that block, and great run by the Pandas. Oh, boy.
Back onto the Pandas side. Here goes Kolodi. Can they keep the momentum going? Dixon going hard off of the block. Stothard and Bolden there, and Dixon gets the last laugh. It is the Pandas now out in front. 13 serving 12. Yeah. Substitution coming up.
Sorry, I was going to say, I thought, earlier they probably should need to get Dixon a bit more involved. She was hitting close to 500, now hitting 667. And again, not a ton of attempts, only 10 total attempts here. So I think they could find their middles a little bit more. Again, Trinity not having a great night blocking-wise. A lot of missed blocks or negative touches at the net.
It's an 8-point run for the Pandas. Sienna Driga returning to the floor. Here's Bolden. She's the best player for the Spartans. The ball going to her. She gets the job done, but Trinity Western needs to try to switch this momentum after eight straight points by the Pandas.
Well, here we are, 13-13, and again, we really haven't seen both these teams play well at the same time, so maybe we'll see that here in this second half of this fourth set.
Sayana Dimitric, the setter, to the back row. 3 attackers at the net for the Spartans. Dimitric started off this set serving, goes down the line and picks up an ace. She hasn't been perfect tonight from behind the service line, but gets an ace at a critical time here in the fourth.
Yeah, and Tiana's one of the players I thought was having a little bit of a missed contact on her float serve earlier. Again, a little bit of backspin on the back of the ball. That time, no case. You see that ball just dip at the very last minute down the line. Great serve.
Definitely the time of the game where you want your serve to click.
Dimitric going to Guzin. Sharp angle shot by Johnston. Impressive play from the left side, and we are tied at 14.
Yeah, that's a ball Raider would want to have back, and not a super hard hit from Poole. Kind of right in that cross court. You're going to want to step into the court a little bit more, make that hitter hit that ball through you.
Both setters now in the back row, and Justine Kolodi, she's going to go 1 foot too far on that offering. It's the Spartans back out in front by 1 point, and Spartans coach Reinhofer still with 1 timeout should he need it. Maren Bolden went on a serving run earlier on, part of a 3-point run for Trinity Western earlier in this set. Guzin close to the bench. Johnston sends this over. Now Dimitric with the Spartans on offense here in the fourth set. That's going to go off the lines person, and a point for the Pandas.
Yeah, a little bit of a smile from the Lions person there. And the Spartans are targeting Poole on serve receive, so we'll see how long the Pandas keep her in there. They've been lucky a little bit to get out of that situation and miss hit from Plouffe.
Poole does a good job as a P2, coming in and bringing different offensive speeds. We talked about her last shot. Maybe not the hardest driven, but she did a great job placing that well enough to get the point.
And Spartans will pick up the point. This brings up Isabella Stothard. Six blue shirts out there for the Spartans. Both liberos off right now. Hamid, Kolodi. There's Dixon. She's had a few kills in this set. Picks up a big one here. We're tied at 16.
Yeah, to me, guys, Hamid has actually been probably like the unsung hero for the Pandas. She has been rock steady. Serve, receive, defense. She just kind of does her job. You almost kind of just forget about her because of how consistent she is out there. Just doesn't have a single flaw in her game.
Dixon going to McBain. Now Plouffe, big block, and the coverage was not there. Abby Guzin flexing her muscles to celebrate. It's now 17, serving 16 for Alberta.
Yeah, big block out there, and those are one of the things, as an outside, you got to learn a little bit where sometimes it's not there. You can't hit up and over like Plouffe can. You got to flatten your hand out. Of course, coming from the middle, you hardly ever flatten your hand out to hit those balls. So again, one of those changes that Plouffe have had to kind of work through.
Dixon going to McBain. There's Cron tipping it over. Now the rookie will go up to try to block this, and Cron getting a piece of it, kept alive by McBain. And Cron will send it over shallow, but the Pandas, you give them a free ball and they can make you pay. Here's Johnson going to work. She does score. Now a 2-point lead for Alberta. Keep in mind, Spartans coach Ryan Hofer still with 1 timeout.
Yeah, and the Spartans need to take some breaths here, some deep breaths. They're a little bit, again, overactivated in this timeout. Yeah, you can take a timeout, but if I'm Coach Hofer on the sideline, I'm just running, hey, take a breathe, we're good, take a breath. Or even if you're one of the leaders out there, here we go, guys, breathe in, breathe out. Just relax, because again, some of those balls just not quite there in the defense, missing a couple steps, missing a few digs that probably should be up, in my opinion.
And still to come, we'll have the second semifinal. It is Brock and Sherbrooke. They will be going head-to-head, and that should be a great one. Gabrielle Minier winning the player of the match in the quarterfinal. She had 14 kills for the Verreor, and she will be playing later on. Earlier on, I'd seen some of the players come in. I'm not sure where they've congregated because they were set to take the stage here. They were set to take the court at 8 o'clock Pacific, but I think we're going a little bit late with this one, but who's complaining? Who's complaining? We're having some fun here. And how late are we going to go? The Trinity Western Spartans, yes, they're trailing by 2. They need to win this set. The Pandas with a chance to close it out in 4 sets. The Pandas looking good. Can they keep this going? Dixon. Going to Bolden, to Mietrich. There's London Cron, the queen of the middle, picking up the kill, putting the Spartans within 1.
Yeah, Coach O'Dwyer not happy. I mean, I do think that was maybe caught and thrown a little bit, but it was kind of in that straight direction here we see on the replay. And yeah, I mean, I didn't get called yesterday, so I don't think it's going to get called today.
Kaylee Plouffe's most recent serve out the back. Let's see if she gets this one in. Yeah, it's a tough serve. Not going to pick up an ace, though. 3 contacts by the Pandas. Guzin unable to make a good attack on it, though. Stepping around is Cron. Oh, my goodness, that penetration coming from Guzin. Absolutely shut down with potentially the block of the night.
Yeah, not a best choice from Tiana. I understand why they did that, but again, you got Bolden. You can come down through the pipe, Plouffe through the C. Drieger on the left side. Again, Guzin's so big and so good at that one-on-one blocking.
She's just up so early, and she just hangs up there, and her press is phenomenal.
Off of the Johnston serve, it's Plouffe from behind the 3-meter line, picks up the point. Critical time. Once again, the Spartan faithful back to their feet.
Yeah, and these are kind of, to me, some of those differences maybe between a second-year setter and a fifth-year setter. Like that set, or should have probably been made that first time through, or to Bolden there. Instead, it took her 1 extra rep, 1 point cost.
Sienna Drieger for the Spartans. Ooh. Goes into the net. That's not going to help things. Now a 2-point deficit.
Yeah, again, take a deep breath here. We go talk. If you're the liberos coming in and out, that's your chance. You can come on, you sort of lean that back row. Okay, take a breath. Here we go. We got it. 1 pass. Pass the ball forward.
Abby Guzin. This could be trouble for the Spartans. Hammers this ball over. Bolden sends it at a sharp angle, just goes out, and Guzin will go back to serve once again.
Yeah, to me that was just out, but just out, so close, and just really going for it. Maybe not enough top spin to hit that sharp of a shot that side inside the court. Yeah, tough ball to hit.
I don't mind that shot, but that's one where can she get it high and turn it off the hands of the blockers against 2 big blockers on Alberta.
Serve clips the tape coming across, going to work his Plouffe out of the back, picked up by Hamid, diving forward. Sent deep, and perfect placement by Collodi. As the defense had choked up too much, and Collodi, showing off that she's a veteran, a 5th year, finds the back.
Yeah, and this is something that teams are going to scout against the Spartans, where they start so high, all 3 players start so high on the court. We saw that from a few of their opponents this year, is pushing that set over on 2, or on 1 sometimes as well.
Guzin with 13 kills on the night, delivers this serve over. The Spartans able to run in system, going over to Marin. Bolden tips that into the pot to score at a pivotal time.
Yeah, pivotal time, and Bolden and Plouffe got to lead the way here for the Spartans. If I'm Tiana Dimitric, I'm just giving either one of them the ball. It's not Sherzy's time at this point in time. It's give your go-to players the ball. Let them earn it for you. And again, Bolden now front row. Give her the opportunity. Of course, you have that Plouffe on that right side D-ball if you need her.
Just going off of that, as the Pandas, can you recognize that and front those hitters and get that block?
Claire Pakalek off the service substitution. Getting Guzin hit the floor for that one. This sent down the line. Plouffe mishandles it. Pakalek tracks it from outside of the court, and Bolden will send one over. Free ball. Kolodi running the offense. Guzin, there she goes. One blocker going up. Stothert, no chance.
Yeah, she's almost just as good as the back row as she is the front row. You can't say that for too many players. She just kind of allows her to have that runway straight up and down the pipe. Spartans are really looking like they're only putting one blocker here. Yeah, they're choosing to go with one blocker, which to me, I don't think that's the right decision against Guzin.
Who's going to get the ball? The Spartans really need this point. Trailing by 4. Stepping around is Dixon. Popped up. Dimitric's going to turn into a joust. Can the Spartans settle things down? Drieger trying to get this over to the pin. Bolden tips into the block. Picked up though by Stothert. Nice defensive play. Dimitric over to Bolden. Looking to go down the line. Goes out. Point for the Pandas. And now a chance to take this one. It is match point.
Oh, wow. Unfortunate miss from Bolden. And again, you got to give her the opportunity to do that, which they did. Great covers from her teammate, but an unfortunate miss. Here we see on the replay, just out. I like the choice, but missed the execution.
The noise picking up. Trinity Western needs this point. Here's Dimitric running the offense, going over to Bolden. That's dug up, though, in the back. Left side swing going down the line, and that will be it. The Pandas are headed to the National Championship Final, defeating the Trinity Western Spartans once again in 4 sets, this time in the semifinal of the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship.
Wow, what a great match. You know, again, not the best performance from the Spartans, but a lot of that had to do with the Pandas' pressure they were putting on them from every facet, from the service line, offensively, defensively, just a juggernaut out there. I think Spartans felt a little bit overwhelmed by that and maybe didn't really handle that kind of momentum swing and those feelings that they're coming up.
Sure, and I think one of the biggest differences between those two teams as well, you know, the Spartans were a little more scrappy, but the Pandas handled those scrappy plays much better than the Spartans did. They were out of system a lot more than the Pandas, and the Pandas had those opportunities to run the offense the way they wanted, whereas, as mentioned before, the Spartans had to rely a little bit too much on their key outside hitters.
It will be the Pandas moving on to face the winner of Sherbrooke and Brock, and that semifinal is still to come. The Trinity Western Spartans, the host of this 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship, they will be playing for bronze, but they've still got something to play for. I think this isn't like, not to knock the consolation side, but they've still got something to do tomorrow when they play for bronze.
Yeah, to get a medal at this level, any medal, any color, is a huge honor, a huge privilege, and a huge opportunity. Not a lot of teams get this chance, especially on your home court. Obviously, you want to be in that gold medal final, but, you know, to be fair, the Pandas were tonight the better team, did deserve that win, and again, tomorrow Trinity has a chance to go out and get a medal here on the home court at the Langley Event Center.
And let's talk about who we think the player of the match will be, and we'll start off with the visiting side, the Alberta Pandas. Who stood out for you? Because I'm thinking, you know, just even Abby Guzin right at the start didn't have the best. She eventually was able to turn it up, but Ryan, who stands out for you?
Yeah, I think Johnson did a quiet, great job. They had an overall great match, and when they have that, to me, it's either the setter or the libero, because they kind of steady the ship and make everybody better. So again, I thought just the libero did a great job, just kind of being patient, consistent, leading on the serve receive end of things and on the defense end of things. And like you're saying, Trinity, you know, that they just were able to convert on those opportunities way more than the Spartans were tonight.
And Trinity, who stands out for you when it comes to the Pandas?
You know, I would have to agree with Hamid. She really held down the backcourt, like you said. You know, her effort was there, her defensive pursuit was there, but then again, supporting her teammates, being that type of leader, and putting herself and her teammates in situations to succeed.
Yeah, to me, for the Spartans, it's going to be probably Plouffe. I'd probably give it to her out there. But again, the Spartans playing 2 liberos. I thought they did okay, but it's a little bit harder to kind of pick one of those. So I think I'm going to go with Plouffe from the Spartans' perspective.
Kaylee Plouffe with 17 kills on the night. And Trinity, any thoughts on who stands out to you for the Trinity Western side? I know Maren Bolden had some pivotal digs at one point, but it was Plouffe who led the way in kills with 17.
Yeah, Ryan took the words right out of my mouth again.
Sorry, Trinity.
No,
I'll let you go
okay.
first next time.
No, I mean, at least we agree, right? I think Plouffe did an amazing job. You know, offensively, behind the service line, just a really steady player all around. And we saw that early on to begin. She was really consistent, minimal errors. And then as the match went on, obviously, Pandas were keying up on her a little bit more, but she still did a great job working around that.
Yeah, 19.5 points, Tim, for Kaylee Plouffe. You know, leading the way from both teams, only followed behind by Guzin with 17.5 points.
Kaylee Plouffe in her 5th and final year, trying to end off by earning a medal. She will have a chance tomorrow in the bronze medal match. Johnston, meantime, getting the recognition for the Pandas. Johnston in her 4th season, still one more year of eligibility for Johnston, finishing with 11 kills on the night, hitting .348.
Yeah, and it could have also gone to Ronnie Dixon, 8 kills, 0 arrows, 11 total attempts, 727. So Pandas had a few players out there that were doing a great job for them tonight.
And it's not necessarily a player of the match, but just a recognition to the fans that have traveled here. The Pandas showing off this great support, whoever it is, if it's people that maybe live around here connected to the team, if it's people that have traveled from Edmonton, traveled from around the world, they look great. And it's got those kind of, at first, the St. Patrick's vibes with the green, but maybe tomorrow, depends on what happens. It could be green versus green. A lot of green here, depending if Sherbrooke was to advance. That is still to come. Sherbrooke and Brock. And maybe just any thoughts before we get to that post-game matchup, any thoughts on what we're going to see in the second semifinal?
Well, I'm super excited to watch the second semifinal and see what those two teams are going to bring. And again, you just kind of hope at the end of the national that both teams do bring what they can, do play their best, because at the end of the day, you want to see the best team win.
And so we're going to throw it now down to Sophie Carpentier, who will be interviewing Layla Johnston.
For these two schools, so congratulations on the victory tonight. You had an amazing match. Your line shot was unstoppable tonight, so congratulations on that performance. Tell me what this means to you to get to a national final for the second time in your career for this program.
It's just, I'm honestly still shaking right now. Now that past is all a blur, but it just goes to show the hard work that our team has put in. It's not even just this year, this is years in the making to make it to this final.
It might feel like a weight lifted, but then as you understand, having been in this position before, you got to get to work tonight. What does this mean for you, for your teammates, for everyone that performed tonight, the recovery, the video sessions? Tell us about that, about your process personally.
Well, there's no doubt that I'm going to have 3 glasses of chocolate milk right after this game. And yeah, just get some good rest tonight and then back to video tomorrow morning. See how we play.
Congratulations and good luck on going for the title tomorrow.
Well, that is it. It is the Trinity Western Spartans who will be playing for bronze tomorrow. The Alberta Pandas moving on to the gold medal match. And yeah, still to come, the second semifinal. Any thoughts on that gold medal match tomorrow? Anything the Pandas need to do, focus on, aside from getting some rest?
Yeah, no, I think the Pandas played quite well, maybe minus that first set, part of that, and they really found their rhythm on all facets of the game, on the defensive side, on the offensive side, from the service line, from the serve receive. So, kudos to them, credit to them. They're very dialed in and locked in, and obviously looking to do big things tomorrow here at the Langley Event Center.
And Trinity, as a player, would you be wanting to watch the semifinal, go out, get food, or just go back to the hotel and rest? What's the game plan?
I mean, we would probably have to watch a little bit of the next semifinal just to get a feel about who you're playing tomorrow. And as a player, you always want to have a little bit of that extra feel. But hopefully, they get out of here. Being in the gym can always cause some tiredness, and they just played a great match. You want to get home, you want to get some food, and you want to get that rest to come super prepared for tomorrow and just mentally reset.
This match started at 6:12 Pacific. It finished at 6:57. Total time 1 hour and 45 minutes. For our entire U Sports on CBC crew in Langley, for Ryan Adams, who the colored commentary alongside Trinity Selecki, my name is Tim James, and tonight it was the Pandas defeating the Spartans in 4 sets. We thank you for watching. We're getting ready for the second semifinal, and we say good night from the LEC.
U Sports on CBC, presented by U Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox 40, Veriburn Medical Supply, Les Bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Booster Juice.